This is a testimonial of how God completely healed and cured my Lyme disease and 18 other running medical conditions. Hi, my name is Lativa, and this is Beating Lyme with Lativa. I am on all social platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, etc., all the main social platforms under Beating Lyme with Lativa. So this testimonial is been long awaited because it's something God has had on my heart, and feel like I've went through so much of the process now that it's time for me to fully share my testimony of the way that God made for me out of no way after almost a 5-year battle with Lyme disease, co-infections, long COVID, a massive mold exposure. I was not diabetic, but I was having massive insulin resistant, really serious, life-threatening, hypoglycemic, diabetic episodes, so many gut issues, really serious sensitivities and reactivities in normal, healthy whole foods that people couldn't or shouldn't, heart issues, liver. My body was in full systemic collapse at one point, and I was passed around by so many doctors throughout the nation, and I was continuously gaslit, written off, told I was young, I was pretty, it's fine, you're fine, it's anxiety. Even to the point where people closest around me who weren't doctors said that I was crazy, that I was doing it for attention, that I needed a psychiatrist because I was schizophrenic. It was disgusting. And everyone that I had turned to for hope, support that I needed, love, comfort, no one knew how to love me. No one knew how to comfort me or support me through it, even help me. So I was forced to become my own doctor. On top of that, I was constantly misdiagnosed with things like lupus, which I didn't have lupus at all. I was misdiagnosed with things like multiple sclerosis, MS, even POTS, autonomic dysfunction, some really serious degenerative diseases. And basically, I just want to say, prior to the onset of my symptoms, I was perfectly healthy my whole life. I never had one underlying health condition or health issue. And it all began in 2021. It was about 8 to 10 months after I personally had COVID once. I didn't have the vaccines, but I did have COVID. It wasn't fun, but I cleared it just fine on my own. I didn't see a doctor. I didn't take any medications for it. And my body cleared it just fine. To be honest, I've had flus that were way worse than COVID. It wasn't fun, but it was interesting because I definitely lost my smell. I lost my taste. And the second I knew I had COVID, I didn't even feel bad in my body. I was eating a mozzarella stick and I was like, wait, and this was during COVID, the world shut down. And I'm like, wait, I can't taste it. And that's the second I knew I had COVID. Unknowingly, 8 to 10 months-ish, I went through a really bad breakup, the emotional pain and stress of that on my body. I was vegan for almost, at that point, 7 years, vegan, vegetarian. And I was always into health and wellness, and I unknowingly moved into a water damaged building. And at that point, my body just went kaput. And I started developing so many weird, strange, full body symptoms. And at first, I thought it was just all these different stuff. I thought I was getting older. And I'm like, I wasn't even 30 years old yet. And I'm like, maybe I'm just getting old. Maybe this is part of growing up. I thought that that's what was happening. Because it was all subtle at first. But then when my heart started getting involved, I was having heart palpitations, random racing heart. I started having tachycardia syndrome. I started having really weird, very scary. I would just pray to God. I'm like, that raised so much concern and anxiety. I'm like, anything, God, but my heart, anything but my heart. That's scary. It was really scary. It came to the point I couldn't even work out. I was getting numbness and tingling in my hands and feet. I was almost losing motor skills. I felt like my face was tightening up. I would be driving and my hands almost cramping. I have this really weird, not even anxiety. I felt like I was dying. These death attacks come over me. something was seriously wrong in my body. I was getting these weird, like right here in my liver, like these weird like spasms that, I mean, I couldn't be around certain perfumes or colognes, like certain things were setting me. I had no idea how bad it was about to get. I could go on and on. I mean, I have pages I could flip through of like symptoms. And when I go to doctors, I'd start telling them my symptoms and they're like, no, tell me your symptoms. And I'm like, bitch, what? I just told you my symptoms. I'm giving you laundry lists. What do you mean? They're like, no, tell me your symptoms. And I'm like, I would literally sit back in shock. And I'm like, is this fucking satire? Am I in a movie? Or is this a joke? Are you speaking English? Hello. Like, I just told you my symptoms. What? And so basically from 2021, 2022, I was in that water damage building for about a year and thankfully moved out. But even once I moved out, things started to actually get worse for me. I didn't know that I was in mold at the time. Water damage building equals mold exposures, mold. A lot of what's available to the public about mold, they've completely downplayed the dangers of mold. I mean, mold can be absolutely devastating and life-threatening. It is not a joke. Do not play around with mold. Don't think you're bigger than the program. Don't think you're invincible or a tiger against it. That is idiotic, completely idiotic. And so I'm also here to warn people about the dangers of mold. You can literally smell the mildewy smell when you walk at bubbles, you know, painted bubbles around your bathtubs or places where water your washer and dryer, your fridge, your ice maker. You know, there's so many different places in the house where water's hooked up, your sinks, underneath your sinks. And in this building I was living at, there was so much like bubbled paint, like it looks like they just painted over the mold. And I mean, I was getting acne all over my back, my face. I've always had a pretty clear complexion. And so many weird symptoms, but mold, I mean, and now I'll walk in places and my spidey senses go off and I'm like, oh, hell no, it's like it speaks to me. I'm like, oh, there's fucking mold in here. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Like I walk in a grocery store and I'm like, no. And then sure enough, I'll look up and I'll see all sorts of crazy stuff on the ceiling. Went around to a grocery store one time to go use the route and there was black mold straight up. And it's almost like a now like intuition that goes off. It's like an alarm. My body's like, oh, there's mold. It's like an alarm that goes off now that like signals to me like this is not a safe environment. It's strange because I never had that before. So, but my testimony, let me not go too far into that, just so you get a good idea. Like I had a lot of crazy life-threatening, bizarre symptoms. Like my body went haywire. My body went out of whack. That's the best way to explain it. And it was a suffering that I could not get help or relief from anyone that I was supposed to be turning for help, relief, answers. I suffered a suffering that I do not wish on my worst enemy. And nobody was listening. And my personal experience, I was in it alone. I was in it alone. And I was forced to become my own doctor. And somewhere deep down, I always knew that I'd be cured, even at the onset of my symptoms. And something even intuitively, you have to understand, I was always into health and wellness, perfectly healthy, never had a health issue in my life. And something intuitively, even at the beginning of my symptoms, I knew nothing about parasites. I knew nothing about mold. I had heard about long COVID, knew nothing about it. And something intuitively, I mean, I was dating this guy at the time, and I even told him, like intuitively. I don't even know where it was coming from. I wasn't trusting my intuition. My body already knew what it was, but I had to go on this crazy egg hunt and all these like winding, never-ending roads that led me to dead ends just to be turned back to square one where my intuition led me in the first place, where I knew nothing about any of this. The mold, the parasite, which sure enough is exactly what I was dealing with. But the medical infrastructure in America, conventional medicine, is not equipped to deal with this. So they're misdiagnosing people, they're writing them off, they're giving them pharmaceutical drugs that are making them worse, not better, and then gives them 15 other symptoms. And I remember very early on in my journey, it was about a year, maybe a year and a half into my journey, of what felt like I'd become a lab rat. I mean, I was having weekly ER visits. I was at doctor's office all the time, this doctor, that doctor, getting this test, that, like, they were taking so much blood. I don't even think it was healthy. And I'm already sick. You can't be taking that much blood from a sick person. And all the tests were normal. They look okay. And I remember at that point, it was just an intuition. It dawned on me. I'm like, and it was a saddening realization. I was like, these people can't help me. None of these doctors know how to help me. And it was such a, I can't even describe the feeling of hopelessness. And it was so apparent to me, none of these people can help me. They don't know what to do with me. And I couldn't give up. And I've always had this mindset that life keeps going on with or without us. And I then kind of shifted. I found my way into integrated medicine, which I never knew anything about. Started working with integrated medicine doctors. I started working with chiropractors, with functional medicine doctors. And it wasn't really until I shifted into that space that I actually started getting the right tests, seeing the right answers. And now, years later, like 3 years in, I'm finally getting properly diagnosed with Lyme disease and all the co-infections. Finally finding out I do have a mold exposure. They're seeing parasites on my test because conventional medicine offered none of this. So they couldn't help me. And they're trying to put me on lifelong drugs, telling me I needed a psychiatrist, that this is a psychiatric disorder. It was bullshit. And so it wasn't really till I shifted into the integrative functional medicine, chiropractic space, I actually started getting somewhere. And even then, these people didn't know how to help me. I was being dropped in the middle of detox protocols because I was having life-threatening reactions. They didn't want a liability on their hands, so they dropped me. And when this happened, I was in the thick of a medical crisis. It had only gotten worse. I shrank down to like 79 pounds. I had diarrhea straight for like 9 months. I had leaky gut, SIBO, C. diff. They just kept giving me antibiotics, which is the worst thing. You cannot give someone that sick with that much stuff going on. It is not cookie cutter. You can't throw them fucking antibiotics. It made me worse. It almost killed me. I'm also here to caution against the overuse of antibiotics that don't fucking work. And I just still always had a knowing that I would be cured, even while I was going through a suffering, a dark, hopeless suffering, going in roundabouts with no answers, no help, no relief. And I was in a relationship that was making me more sick. My heart, my soul, my body. This man constantly running around on me. And the gaslighting, the emotional turbulence he was causing on top of this, and ended up leaving me for another woman and made sure to rub it in my face, plastered it everywhere online, to where my family could see, left me with no car. And this is where the testimony gets really good. Really, really good. And God is so good. I always had a knowing I'd be cured. I didn't know how. And when he left me, he made sure to leave me in the most compromised, vulnerable position, thinking I was going to go chase him. I don't chase. Especially not someone that fucking disgusting, who did it on purpose to spite me while I was already carrying the weight of the world and his suffering. I was so sick. And I had so much ambition, and I had so many dreams and goals. And I said, fuck this, there has to be another way. There has to be another way. He left me with no car. I had no family, I had no friend, I had no one to call. The only person I could call on was God. So imagine, I'm in this place by myself. I can't physically work. I have serious medical conditions. I have no money, no help, no resources. No one can help me. And everyone's like, oh, do this, do that, use your insurance. Like that's just gonna magically help. I've already been fucking doing that. No one understood what I was up against. It was like a Job season. Everything that could be thrown at one person, possibly thrown at them, was thrown at me. And it just gets to a point you get tired of being strong. It was breaking me. I was going through a heartbreak, medical conditions, no money. My business was my baby. I was trying to get off the ground. Started taking off for the first time and I couldn't sustain it because of my health. I had no car. I had no job. I had no income. I was about to be evicted. I didn't know how I was going to feed me and my dog. And through, in the midst of this, on Valentine's, this man ripped everything from me. And God spoke to me that day so loud and clear. And what I'm about to walk you through, how God spoke to me and the divine intervention that took place is just an incredible testimony. You have to hear this. So God literally spoke to me and said, let go. I said, okay. Okay. And went in no contact, and we never spoke again. And we will never speak again. I forgive, but I cannot allow someone that disgusting. I pray for your healing. I pray that you repent. And until something like that is done to you, what you did to me, you will never know the pain that you caused. And you mess up your own blessings. And you cannot go where I'm going. And I told you and I warned you and you didn't want to listen. So enjoy that karma. That's yours, not mine. It's a heavy weight to carry, isn't it? Yeah. You didn't want to listen. So I let go. And God spoke to me. That this was the first audible voice. I'd always seen God work in my life, but the way God was about to unfold things, I had no idea what was coming. Like Moses Red Sea moments in real life, in my life. And God told me, let go. I let go. I had no idea how I was about to sustain anything. I was in the thick of it with everything thrown at one person that could possibly go wrong was going wrong in my life. I was like, damn, did I do so? Is this my karma? What did I do, God? And it's funny because prior I was begging God to strengthen my faith. He did that. God did that. That's for sure, baby. Damn. I can see it now. I didn't see it at the time, but it gets really good, guys. I promise. And then the next thing, God spoke to me really loud and said, you're going to use the power of your faith and mind to heal your body. And I'm like, I had to look around my house because I heard it so loud, in my spirit. And I'm like, who's there? Who the fuck just said that? Someone in my house. I literally had to look around. I heard it that loudly, you guys. I'm like, and then I got mad at God and I was like, the fuck you talking? I'm kind of gangsta, you guys. I'm little and petite, but the gangsta comes out a little bit. I'm spiritual gangsta, baby. That's what, So I look around. I'm like, hey, who the fuck is talking to me? You see how bad this shit is, right? Are you serious? And I'm like, God, you just told me let go of the man I loved, and I'm doing this for you, and I'm hurting because of you, and I'm, but I'm obeying. I know to obey. I'm hearing God's voice, and I know to obey and not to question, even though this shit hurts and everything's being ripped from under me. And God says you're going to use the power of your mind and faith to heal your body. I didn't believe God was. I was mad at God. I was like, you fucking serious right now? You know how bad this is? My heart's affected, my liver, my organs are shutting down, and you're telling me I'm going to use the power of my faith. And I don't even have access to medical treatment right now. Are you kidding me? Well, God just kept speaking to me. At the time, I was in an industry that God was seriously calling me out of, to the point that God spoke to me the last night I stepped in that industry and said, you're not going in tonight. Do not go. But I had my Tesla was about to be delivered. I had to get my own car. I'm needing to work to make money to support me. I'm like, the fuck you mean? I gotta go make money. I went, I got fired. Never been fired from anywhere in my life like that. So I couldn't even go back if I wanted to. I didn't listen to God. And I was like, God didn't even call me to go work a job. God didn't call me to go search for jobs. God told me to literally, then spoke to me. I said, be still and know that I am the Lord. And I'm like, my life is collapsing right now, God, and you're telling me not to go get a job, that I don't work for anyone, that I work for you, to be still and know that I'm using the power of my mind and faith to heal my body, to let go of this relationship. And my life is collapsing in on me. I don't even know how I'm about to feed me and my dog. I'm about to be evicted from my home. It got to the point I was accepting that I was about to be a homeless girl with medical conditions, a pretty young girl on the streets of Vegas in the heat with me and my dog with nowhere to go. I had no one to call. I had no family. I had no friends. While dealing with serious life-threatening medical conditions behind the scene, while I'm constantly going through these medical flare-ups, I feel like I'm dying. And I'm crying myself to sleep with no one there by my side. I had to hold myself while bearing heartbreak. And in the midst of all of this, I was praying to God, and God spoke again to me about the ex-boyfriend that I just released. And this was about 2 months and so to that breakup, no contact. And God spoke to me so loud, and God even joked with me, and it was so funny. And said, well, you trusted him to take care of all your bills, because he was helping me financially, because I was having a hard time taking care of myself because of my medical conditions. And I've never been lazy. I've always been ambitious. And I just felt like my life had been ripped from underneath me. And I had so many dreams and goals, and I was now worried that I'd never be able to live them out. Living a less than quality life the rest of my life, suffering. And God told me, you trusted him to take care of you. You knew bills would get paid. You knew you'd have food. Why don't you trust me? Let me be a daddy. I heard God verbatim. I tell you no lie. I was like, oh, damn, okay, all right. Well, if you insist, God. Okay, Sky Daddy. I seriously heard God joke with me about it. You trusted him. He's not your God. And God also revealed this. You made him your God. He's not God. I'm your God. I'm your source. Let me be a daddy. I was like straight up, God spoke this to me. And I'm like, okay, God. All right, you gonna be my sugar daddy?